No alarm sounded on Earth when the alien armada crossed the edge of the solar system. That was the first strange thing. Mars should have seen them first. The old defense telescopes around the red planet were built for that purpose. They watched the dark between worlds every second of every day. They tracked dust, broken satellites, lost probes, and even drifting ice. An invading fleet the size of a small moon should have lit every screen from Mars to Earth. But for 13 minutes, nothing appeared. Then the screens woke up all at once. At the Ares Deep Watch station above Mars, Commander Elias Vance stood frozen as thousands of shapes filled the main display. Long black warships, needle-like carriers, heavy shield platforms, a moving wall of metal and cold light. The system counted them again and again, as if it did not trust its own numbers. 4,612 vessels. No peaceful fleet traveled like that. No trade convoy came in attack formation. They're already inside the outer defense map, one officer whispered. Elias looked at the clock. The fleet had not just entered the solar system. It had slipped past half of humanity's warning net before anyone even knew it was there. That was the second strange thing. A signal came moments later. It was not a message of peace. It was not even a demand. It was a declaration. A hard alien voice filled the station. People of Earth, your expansion ends today. Remain within your homeworld, and your extinction will be efficient. The room went silent, not because of fear alone, because the voice spoke perfect English. Elias felt a cold weight settle in his chest. Whoever these invaders were, they had studied humanity for a long time, maybe longer than anyone on Earth wanted to imagine. Then the third strange thing happened. The ancient relay satellite in high Mars orbit, officially dead for more than 80 years, suddenly turned on by itself. Its lights burned blue, its dish rotated toward the alien fleet, and from a machine that should not even have had power, one line appeared on every human screen in orbit. Do not fire first. Let them come closer. Elias stared at the message, because beneath it was a clearance code only 3 people in human history had ever possessed, and all 3 had been dead for decades. To be continued. Commander Elias Vance did not move for several seconds. The message still glowed across the command screens inside Ares Deep Watch Station. Do not fire first. Let them come closer. The clearance code beneath it burned into Elias's mind. Every officer in the station knew what it meant. That code belonged to Project Sentinel, one of the oldest and most secret defense programs humanity had ever created. But Project Sentinel had been shut down almost a century ago. Officially, Elias slowly looked around the command room. No one spoke. The officers stared at the screens, waiting for an order. Outside the station windows, Mars hung below them like a red desert world, silent and ancient. Far beyond it, the alien armada moved closer. Thousands of ships. Their formation stretched across millions of kilometers of space. Large command vessels sat in the center like dark mountains. Smaller destroyers surrounded them in layers. Fast attack craft moved like swarms of insects between the larger ships. Whoever commanded that fleet believed Earth would fall easily. They are accelerating, a sensor officer said quietly. Numbers streamed across the tactical display. Velocity increasing. Trajectory confirmed. Direct course toward Earth orbit. They will cross Mars orbit in 22 minutes. The officer continued. The room felt colder. Elias folded his arms and stared at the strange satellite signal again. The satellite was called Relay 19. It had been placed in orbit around Mars during the early years of human expansion. For decades, it had served as a simple communications node. Then one day it shut down. No damage. No explanation. Just silence. For 83 years. Until now, run a diagnostic. Elias ordered. A technician worked quickly at the console. Sir, I'm receiving something strange. Explain. The satellite systems are not rebooting. They were already active. That made no sense. Already active? Yes, Commander. According to the internal logs, Relay 19 has been running continuously. Elias frowned. That's impossible. Sir, the logs say it never shut down. A quiet tension spread through the command room. If the satellite had never turned off, then someone had hidden its activity for 83 years. Someone with access to systems that should not exist anymore. Another signal suddenly appeared on the station network. This one was different. Instead of one line, a long encrypted data stream began flowing directly from Relay 19 into Ares Station's central computer. The system tried to block it. It failed instantly. The encryption keys were too powerful. "Commander," the technician said nervously, "it's overriding our security." "Is it hostile?" "No, it's uploading files." More screens came alive. Old maps, old star charts, military files marked classified, level Omega. Elias leaned forward. "Where are these records from?" The technician swallowed. "Dates show between 2073 and 2089. That was over a century ago." Another officer spoke up. "Commander, that was the era of the first deep space defense programs." Elias knew that already. Those programs were created when humanity first realized they were not alone in the galaxy. Back then, several unexplained signals had come from deep space. Strange transmissions that no one could fully decode. Many believed they were alien probes watching Earth. Project Sentinel had been humanity's answer, but Sentinel was canceled before it was finished. Or at least, that was the official story. The data upload continued. New information appeared on the screen. Old video recordings, test reports, and a name, Dr. Miriam Halvorsen. Elias recognized it immediately. Dr. Halvorsen had been the lead scientist of Project Sentinel, a brilliant engineer, a visionary, and according to history records, she had died 79 years ago. But the system suddenly opened a video file. The room lights dimmed as the recording began. A woman appeared on the screen. Gray hair, sharp eyes, calm expression. Dr. Halvorsen. She spoke slowly, as if she knew someone would watch this message far in the future. "If you're seeing this, then the outer warning net has failed." Elias felt the room grow still. Halvorsen continued. "That means the visitors we feared have finally arrived." No one moved. The recording was over 80 years old, yet the woman spoke about the alien Armada as if she could see it. "We knew this day might come," Halvorsen said. "Not tomorrow, not next year, but someday." Behind her in the video, Elias could see a large laboratory. Massive machines filled the room, metal structures shaped like rings, and a large object covered by a heavy cloth. Halvorsen walked slowly toward it. "Humanity is young among the stars," she said, "but we are not helpless." She pulled away the cloth. Underneath it stood a strange device, a long cylindrical structure made of dark metal. Thin glowing lines ran along its surface like veins of light. "This," Halvorsen said quietly, "is the Sentinel Protocol." The officers in Ares Station exchanged confused looks. Halvorsen continued speaking. "The galaxy is full of civilizations, some peaceful, some curious, some dangerous." She placed her hand on the device. "But the greatest weapon in the universe is not firepower." She paused. "It is knowledge." The video zoomed closer. "This device is not a weapon. It is a key." Elias leaned closer to the screen. "A key to what?" someone whispered. Halvorsen answered. "To the hidden defense network built across our solar system." Shock filled the room. Defense network? Across the solar system? But humanity had never built anything like that. Or had they? Halvorsen looked directly into the camera. Project Sentinel was never canceled. The words fell heavy. It was hidden. A long silence followed. Hidden because humanity was not ready to know the truth. Elias felt his heartbeat quicken. "What truth?" he whispered. The recording continued. "During early deep space research," Halvorsen said, "we discovered something buried beneath the surface of Mars." "Mars?" Every officer looked toward the planet outside the window. Halvorsen continued. "An ancient structure." Her voice became quieter. "Not built by humans." A deep tension filled the room. "We never discovered who built it, or why it was left there." Images appeared behind her. Old excavation footage. Huge tunnels under the Martian desert. Strange metal walls. And a massive circular machine larger than any human ship. Halvorsen's voice echoed softly. "The structure is older than human civilization." older than civilization, older than history. We studied it for years, she said. But the greatest discovery came later. The video paused briefly as new images appeared. A map of the solar system. Dozens of glowing points appeared across it. Around Mars, near Jupiter, hidden within asteroid belts, frozen in deep space. They are everywhere, Halvorsen said. Ancient stations. Silence filled the room. Dormant machines left by a civilization that vanished long before humanity walked on Earth. Elias felt a strange sense of awe. Ancient alien technology, hidden across their solar system, sleeping, waiting. Halvorsen continued. We still do not know who built them, but we learned one important thing. They were not weapons. The officers leaned closer. They were defense systems. Another silence followed, but they required a key to activate. The camera zoomed toward the strange device again. This key, the Sentinel Protocol. Halvorsen's expression became serious. We believe the machines were meant to protect this star system from outside threats. She paused, but they were locked. Elias felt his mind racing. The satellite message, the alien fleet, the ancient machines. Everything was starting to connect. Halvorsen spoke again. So we built a key. She looked directly into the camera. And then we hit it. The recording flickered. Because if humanity discovered these machines too early, we might have used them against ourselves. The room remained silent. Halvorsen took a slow breath. If an alien armada is approaching Earth, then it means they already know something about our solar system. Her voice lowered. They are not here for conquest alone. They are here to claim what was left behind. Elias stared at the screen. Claim the ancient machines? The alien armada wanted control of the hidden defense network. Suddenly the recording ended. The command room lights brightened again. For several seconds no one spoke. Then the sensor officer suddenly shouted, "Commander!" Elias turned. "What is it?" "The alien fleet has changed formation." The main screen zoomed in. Thousands of alien ships were spreading across Mars' orbit. They were scanning the planet, looking for something, looking for the ancient structure, the one buried beneath Mars. Elias slowly understood the truth. The alien armada did not come to destroy Earth. They came to capture the defense network. If they activated it first, humanity would never survive. The sensor officer spoke again. "Commander, the fleet will reach Mars' orbit in 6 minutes." 6 minutes. Elias looked at the glowing message still floating across the screen. "Do not fire first. Let them come closer." Now, he finally understood why. Because the moment the alien armada reached Mars' orbit, something hidden in the solar system was about to wake up, and no one, not even humanity, fully understood what would happen next. To be continued. Commander Elias Vance stood silently as the alien fleet moved closer to Mars. The red planet filled half the window of Ares' Deepwatch Station, glowing softly under distant sunlight. For centuries, Mars had been only a symbol of human exploration. Colonies lived under its surface. Research cities studied its soil and atmosphere. But now Elias knew something else was hidden there. Something ancient, something powerful. And the alien armada had come to claim it. On the tactical display, thousands of alien ships slowed as they reached the edge of Mars' orbit. Their formation shifted again. Large scanning beams began sweeping across the planet's surface. "They are searching," the sensor officer said. Elias nodded. "Yes, they know the structure is here." Another officer spoke quietly. "If they find it first, they will control the defense network." No one needed to explain what that meant. If the alien fleet gained control of the ancient system, every human colony, every station, and every ship in the solar system would become defenseless. The aliens would control the sky. Suddenly, the old satellite relay, 19, sent another signal. A new message appeared on the station screens. Sentinel Protocol initializing. Below the message, a countdown began. 5 o'clock. Elias felt the tension in the room tighten. "What happens when the countdown ends?" a technician asked. No one knew, but Elias suspected something enormous was about to happen. The data from Dr. Halvorsen's archive continued flowing into the station computers. Old files open automatically. One document appeared labeled Sentinel Network, Core Locations. A map of Mars appeared. But instead of showing human colonies, the map highlighted a deep underground structure near the planet's southern hemisphere. A massive circular facility buried beneath kilometers of rock. This must be the original structure Halvorsen discovered, Elias said. The technician nodded. Depth shows nearly 3 kilometers underground. The sensor officer suddenly spoke again. Commander, alien ships are approaching that exact location. Of course they were. Elias clenched his jaw. They already know where it is. Large alien vessels began descending toward the Martian surface. Smaller landing craft launched from their hulls like dark insects. The invaders were moving quickly. They did not want to battle in space. They wanted control of the ancient machine. Another message appeared from Relay 19. This time it was not text. It was a voice. A calm artificial voice echoed through the command room. Sentinel protocol active. Everyone looked at the speakers. The voice continued. Primary human command authority detected. Elias stepped closer to the console. Identify yourself. The system responded instantly. I am Sentinel Interface 1. I am the operational intelligence of the Sentinel Network. The room fell silent. Not human, not alien. Something built long ago to control the ancient defense system. Elias spoke carefully. Interface 1 explained the situation. The AI responded. An external fleet is approaching the core activation site beneath Mars. We know that, Elias said, the fleet intends to access the ancient network created by the progenitor civilization. The word echoed strangely. Progenitor? Someone whispered. The AI continued calmly. The progenitors were an advanced species that once maintained defensive networks across multiple star systems. Images appeared on the screen. Ancient structures. Gigantic machines orbiting stars. Massive defense platforms hidden in asteroid belts. They built automated defense systems to protect developing civilizations from aggressive expansion empires. Elias listened carefully. So the system protects Earth? Yes. But it remained dormant because no recognized command species had access to the activation key. Elias slowly understood. And humanity built the key. Yes. Dr. Miriam Halvorsen successfully completed the interface translation system 93 years ago. The technician whispered, That's the Sentinel Protocol device. Elias nodded. Where is it now? The AI answered. Location, Mars core facility. Of course. Hidden beneath the planet all this time. The alien fleet probably came to capture it. The countdown on the screen continued. 3:12. Outside the station window. Alien landing craft were entering the Martian atmosphere. Dozens of them. Hundreds. Elias spoke again. Interface 1. If they reach the facility first, what happens? The AI paused briefly. If the alien fleet activates the defense network, they will gain operational control of all progenitor defensive assets within the star system. Elias imagined what that meant. Weapons across the solar system. Automated platforms. Ancient machines far more advanced than human technology. Humanity would have no chance. Another officer spoke. Can we activate it first? The AI answered. Affirmative. How? Human command authority must reach the Sentinel core. Elias looked at the map again. 3 kilometers underground, deep beneath Mars. And alien landing forces were already descending toward the same location. How long before they reached the facility? Elias asked. The sensor officer checked the data. Estimated arrival on surface, 2 minutes. The room felt heavy with pressure. Elias turned toward the communication officer. Open a channel to Mars Colony Authority. The screen flickered. A tired face appeared. Governor Lena Ortega of Mars. Her voice sounded tense. Commander Vance, we see the alien ships. What is happening? Elias did not waste time. Governor, listen carefully. There's an ancient structure beneath Mars that the alien fleet is trying to capture. Ortega looked shocked. Ancient structure? There's no time to explain everything. But if they reach it, Earth will lose the entire solar system. The governor looked toward someone off-screen. We have defense teams underground near the southern mining tunnels. Send them to the coordinates I'm transmitting now, Elias said. A map flashed across her display. The governor stared at it. That area is restricted. We were told never to dig there. Yes, Elias said quietly. Now you know why. Another alarm sounded on the station. The sensor officer spoke quickly. Commander, alien ground forces have landed. Images appeared on the screen. Dark alien machines moving across the Martian desert. Long armored walkers. Transport carriers. They were heading directly toward the underground facility entrance. The governor whispered, They already know where it is. Yes, Elias said. The countdown continued. 1:58. Elias looked at the AI. Interface 1, what happens when the countdown ends? The Sentinel core will begin activation. And if no human is there, then the system will remain partially locked. Meaning, the alien fleet will attempt forced access. And can they succeed? The AI paused longer this time. Probability unknown. Elias did not like those words. Outside, the alien Armada remained in high orbit above Mars, watching, waiting. The ground invasion was only the first step. If their forces captured the underground facility, they could activate the ancient network. But if humans reached it first, something very different might happen. The governor spoke again through the screen. Commander, our teams are moving to the mining tunnels now. Elias nodded. How long until they reach the facility? 7 minutes. 7 minutes. The countdown on the screen reached 0:59. Not enough time. The alien forces were already on the surface. Elias turned to the AI again. Interface 1. If the core activates without human presence, will the defense network still respond to threats? Yes. How? The network will initiate autonomous defense protocols. Elias frowned. Define autonomous. Any unidentified military fleet within the solar system will be classified as hostile. The room went quiet. Unidentified. Elias repeated. Yes. The officer next to him suddenly understood. That includes human ships too. The AI confirmed calmly. Correct. If the network activated without human control, every ship in the solar system could become a target. Human, alien, everything. The defense system would simply destroy anything it detected. Elias whispered. That would turn the entire solar system into a battlefield. The AI replied. Yes. The countdown reached its final seconds. 0:10. Alien forces were closing in on the underground facility. Human teams were still racing through the tunnels. Elias felt his pulse rising. This ancient defense system could save humanity or destroy everything. The clock reached 0. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the lights across Ares' Deep Watch Station suddenly flickered. Mars itself seemed to tremble, and deep beneath the red planet, the ancient machine built by a forgotten civilization finally began to wake. To be continued. For a moment, the entire solar system felt quiet. Then Mars shook. The vibration was small at first, a slow rumble beneath the red planet's surface, deep under layers of rock and frozen dust. But the sensors on Ares' Deep Watch Station detected it instantly. Seismic activity detected, the sensor officer shouted. Commander Elias Vance watched the readings climb. The tremor did not come from a natural quake. It came from 3 kilometers beneath the surface, from the buried structure, from the Sentinel core. Across the command room, the screens flickered as energy readings suddenly exploded across the sensors. Commander, massive power surge detected underground, the technician reported. How massive? Elias asked. The technician stared at the numbers, confused. Sir, I don't understand these units. The AI voice answered calmly. Energy output is consistent with progenitor reactor activation. Images appeared across the tactical screens. Deep under Mars, something enormous had come alive. Ancient machinery that had slept for millions of years was beginning to move again. The alien fleet saw it too. In orbit above Mars, the massive Armada suddenly changed formation. Ships moved quickly. Defensive shields activated. Weapons powered up. They know something has started, Elias said. The sensor officer nodded. They are deploying more landing forces. Hundreds of new alien transport ships separated from a fleet and began descending toward the Martian surface. The invaders were accelerating their operation. They wanted the Sentinel Core before it fully activated. On the communication screen, Governor Ortega's face appeared again. Her voice sounded tense. Our teams are almost at the underground chamber. Elias leaned forward. How close? 2 minutes, she said. The sensor officer interrupted. Alien ground units are approaching the same entrance. Elias clenched his hands. The race had begun. Below the Martian desert, the underground mining tunnels shook as dust fell from the ceiling. A group of human soldiers moved quickly through the narrow passageways. Captain Mirachin led the team. She had served on Mars for 6 years, protecting the colonies and mining operations. But nothing in her training had prepared her for this mission. Behind her, 8 soldiers carried plasma rifles and portable scanners. The tunnel walls glowed dimly with emergency lights. Distance to target? Mira asked. A technician checked the scanner. 200 meters. The rumbling grew louder. The soldiers could feel it through the floor. Something massive was moving somewhere ahead. They reached the end of the mining tunnel, and then they saw it. The rock wall ahead had been cut open decades earlier. Beyond it stood a huge metal door. Not human. The surface of the door was smooth and dark, covered in glowing lines that pulsed with soft blue light. This must be it, one soldier whispered. The entrance to the ancient facility. Mira stepped closer. The door was enormous, at least 20 meters tall. How do we open it? Another soldier asked. Before anyone could answer, the glowing lines of the door suddenly brightened. The entire structure began to vibrate with a deep mechanical sound. The massive door slowly started to slide open. No one had touched it. The Sentinel system had recognized human presence. The soldiers stared in awe as the opening widened. Beyond the door stretched a vast underground chamber. The cavern was enormous. The ceiling rose higher than a skyscraper. Strange metal towers filled the chamber, connected by glowing cables and rotating rings of light. At the center stood the Sentinel Core, a giant circular structure suspended above the ground by energy fields. Blue light flowed through it like rivers of electricity. Mira felt small standing before it. This thing is bigger than a city, one soldier whispered. Their communication unit crackled. Commander Vance's voice came through. Captain Chun, report. Mira spoke quickly. We have reached the facility. The core is active. Can you access the control system? Elias asked. She looked around. At the base of the central structure stood a tall pillar with glowing symbols. I think so. Mira approached the pillar carefully. The symbols changed as she moved closer. The Sentinel AI spoke again through her helmet speaker. Human command authority detected. The pillar opened slowly, revealing a smooth control surface. Captain Chun, the AI said calmly, you may initiate full Sentinel control. Mira placed her hand on the glowing panel, but before she could activate it, a soldier shouted, movement. The scanner screen flashed red. Alien forces had entered the tunnel, dozens of them, mechanical walkers with heavy armor and long-energy weapons. They're here, Mira said quietly. The alien machines marched through the door into the massive chamber. Their weapons turned toward the human team. The first blast of blue plasma slammed into the stone wall behind them. Take cover, Mira shouted. The soldiers scattered behind metal pillars. Energy bolts filled the chamber with blinding flashes. The aliens moved forward slowly. Cold, precise. They were not rushing. They were securing the facility. On Ares Station, Elias watched the battle through Captain Chen's helmet camera. The huge chamber filled the screen. Alien machines advancing. Human soldiers firing back. Captain Chun, you must activate the core. Elias said. I'm trying, she replied. But the aliens were closing in. More enemy units entered the chamber. Their weapons burned bright blue as they fired. Human plasma rifles struck their armor, but barely slowed them. These things are heavily shielded, a soldier yelled. Another alien walker fired. A beam of energy cut across the floor, destroying a metal tower behind the humans. The entire chamber shook again. Above them, the Sentinel Core began spinning faster. The glowing rings around it rotated rapidly. Power levels continued rising. The AI voice spoke again. Sentinel network synchronization beginning. On the station screens, new signals appeared across the solar system. Hidden stations, ancient machines, dozens of them, orbiting moons, buried inside asteroids, floating silently in deep space. All of them were waking up. Back on Mars, Mira saw the alien machines closing in. She had only seconds. If the aliens reached the control pillar first, they might attempt forced access. And if that happened, the Sentinel network might fall into enemy hands. "Commander," Mira said quietly. "Yes," Elias replied. "I'm activating it." She slammed her hand onto the control surface. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the pillar exploded with light. Energy surged through the chamber. The Sentinel core above them roared to life. A deep humming sound filled the underground city. The alien machines suddenly stopped. Their scanners flickered. The AI voice echoed across the entire facility. Human Command Authority confirmed. Full Sentinel protocol engaged. The spinning rings around the core accelerated. A beam of light shot upward through the ceiling of Mars, straight into space. On Ares' Deep Watch station, every sensor alarm activated at once. Elias looked at the tactical screen. Thousands of new signals had appeared around the alien fleet, massive ancient defense platforms. They had been hidden for millions of years, and now they were fully awake. The alien Armada had just realized something terrible. They had not invaded an undefended solar system. They had entered a progenitor defense zone, and humanity now controlled the key. But the alien fleet was not retreating. Instead, their warships began powering their weapons, preparing for the largest battle the solar system had ever seen. And this time, the entire star system itself was about to fight. To be continued. Far above Mars, the alien Armada saw the light. A single bright beam had shot from the surface of the red planet into space. It was not a weapon. It was not an explosion. It was a signal. Across the solar system, ancient machines that had slept for millions of years suddenly woke. Commander Elias Vance stared at the tactical display inside Ares' Deep Watch station. New signals appeared everywhere. Dozens, then hundreds, then thousands. Ancient defense platforms began activating across space. Hidden stations in the asteroid belt slowly unfolded like metal flowers. Long, silent structures orbiting Jupiter powered up bright energy rings. Even old drifting satellites near Saturn suddenly began to move. They were not human machines. They were far older, and now they were awake. Sentinel network fully active, the AI voice said calmly. Elias took a slow breath. Status of alien fleet? The sensor officer looked at the screen. They are reacting. On the display, the alien Armada had stopped its advance. The formation was shifting again. Large warships were turning their weapons outward. They had detected the awakening machines. They understand the danger now, Elias said. But the alien fleet was powerful. 4,000 warships. If they opened fire at full strength, the solar system could still suffer massive destruction. Interface 1, Elias said to the AI. Can the Sentinel network destroy the fleet? The AI answered without emotion. Yes. The room fell silent, but the AI continued. However, doing so would cause severe collateral damage to human infrastructure. Images appeared on the screen. Energy weapon paths. Shock waves spreading across space. Fragments of destroyed alien ships falling toward Mars and Earth. Even ancient machines had limits. If the battle was too violent, parts of the solar system could still be destroyed. Elias understood the problem immediately. Total destruction of a fleet could damage Earth orbit. Correct, the AI replied. Elias leaned back. So the defense network was powerful, but not perfect. Meanwhile, deep beneath Mars, Captain Mirachin still stood in the glowing chamber. The Sentinel core spun above her, like a giant wheel of light. Energy flowed through the massive rings. The alien ground machines had stopped firing. They stood still, frozen. Why did they stop? One soldier asked. The AI voice echoed through the chamber. Alien combat units have lost communication with their command fleet. Mira looked up. What happened? Sentinel Network has isolated enemy command signals. The alien machines were cut off. They were still dangerous, but now they could not receive orders. Above Mars, the situation was becoming more tense. The alien fleet slowly formed a defensive circle around their central command ships. Then a signal came from them. A communication beam aimed directly at Ares' Deep Watch Station. The communication officer looked at Elias. They are requesting contact. That surprised everyone. They want to talk? One officer said. Elias thought for a moment. Open the channel. The screen flickered. An alien figure appeared. Tall, thin, covered in dark metallic armor. Its eyes glowed with pale blue light. When it spoke, its voice was calm and cold. Human Command Authority, you have activated the progenitor defense system. Elias answered carefully. Yes. The alien stared silently for a moment. You were not expected to succeed. That was an interesting choice of words. Why did you come here? Elias asked. The alien did not hesitate. To claim what was abandoned. Elias crossed his arms. The progenitor network? Yes. The alien leader continued. Our civilization has searched for this system for centuries. Elias felt the tension in the room. So they had not just discovered it. They had been hunting it. You came to steal it. Elias said. No. The alien replied calmly. To control it. There was a difference. If they controlled the network, they could expand across the galaxy without fear. The progenitor machines would protect them everywhere. The alien leader continued speaking. You have activated a weapon that humanity cannot control. Elias glanced at the AI interface. The alien might be partially correct. Your species is young. The alien said. You do not understand the power you now command. Elias looked back at the alien. But we understand something else. What? This system was meant to protect developing civilizations. The alien did not answer immediately. Its glowing eyes narrowed slightly. You assumed the progenitors were benevolent. Elias paused. Were they not? The alien finally responded. They were protectors once. But eventually they realized the truth. Elias waited. Every civilization becomes a conqueror if it survives long enough. The words felt heavy. The alien leader continued. The progenitors built defense networks to stop empires like ours. Elias leaned forward. And you want to become one of those empires. The alien did not deny it. Yes. Silence filled the command room. The alien leader spoke again. Human commander, listen carefully. You have two options. The alien Armada slowly powered its weapons. Thousands of energy cannons glowing across space. You may surrender control of the Sentinel network. In exchange, we will allow your species to survive within your home system. Several officers gasped quietly. They were offering humanity the chance to live, but only as prisoners in their own solar system. And the second option? Elias asked. The alien answered calmly. We fight. Elias looked at the tactical screen again. Thousands of alien warships. Hundreds of ancient defense platforms. If war started, the battle would be enormous. The alien leader continued. Our fleet will not retreat. Elias understood something important in that moment. These aliens had traveled across the galaxy to find the system. They would not give up easily. But humanity had something they did not expect. The alien leader finished its message. Choose wisely, human commander. The transmission ended. Silence returned to the command room. One officer spoke quietly. They're bluffing. Another shook his head. No, they're desperate. Elias looked at the Sentinel AI interface. Interface 1. Yes, Commander. If the alien fleet fires first, how quickly can the network respond? Defense platforms can neutralize the majority of enemy ships within 42 seconds. That was incredibly fast, but not perfect. And the remaining ships? Unknown. Elias looked at Mars on the screen. Deep beneath its surface, Captain Chun had activated the ancient system. Humanity now held the key to a weapon older than their civilization. But the aliens believed humanity could not control it. Maybe they were right. Or maybe humanity understood something they did not. Elias turned back to the AI. Interface 1. Yes. Is the Sentinel network designed only for destruction? The AI paused briefly. No, that caught Elias's attention. Explain. The progenitors designed the network primarily for containment. Elias leaned forward. Containment? Yes. The screen displayed a new diagram. Energy fields, spatial barriers, massive gravitational distortions. The network could do more than destroy ships. It could trap them. Elias slowly smiled. Interesting. The alien fleet expected a battle. They expected destruction. But they had not considered another possibility. Elias looked at the officers around him. Prepare Sentinel Containment Protocol. The officers stared at him. You're not going to destroy them? One asked. Elias shook his head. No. He looked back at the tactical screen. Thousands of alien ships waiting above Mars. They came here looking for power. Elias folded his arms. Instead, they're about to learn what happens when humanity decides to protect its home. And across the solar system, the ancient machines began preparing a different kind of weapon. Not one meant to destroy an empire, but one meant to trap it forever. To be continued. Above Mars, the alien Armada waited. Thousands of dark warships floated in silent formation. Their weapons were charged. Their shields glowed faintly around their hulls. They expected a battle. They expected explosions and destruction. But the solar system stayed quiet. Inside Ares' Deep Watch Station, Commander Elias Vance stood calmly while officers watched the tactical display. No one fired. No weapons launched. Yet the Sentinel network was moving. Across the solar system, ancient machines began shifting positions. Huge structures hidden inside the asteroid belt slowly rotated. Massive platforms near Jupiter powered bright rings of energy. Silent stations near Saturn moved out of long frozen orbits. They were forming a pattern, a giant circle around the alien fleet. The sensor officer looked confused. Commander, they're surrounding them. Elias nodded. Yes, but they're not firing. They won't. The officer stared at him. What are they doing then? Elias answered quietly, closing the door. Deep beneath Mars, Captain Narration watched the glowing rings of the Sentinel core spin faster. Energy moved through the chamber like rivers of blue light. The AI voice spoke again. Containment protocol initiated. Mira looked up. Containment? Yes, the AI said calmly. The progenitor defense network was designed to imprison hostile fleets without destroying nearby civilizations. The soldiers around her exchanged surprised looks. So we're not blowing them up? One asked. Mira shook her head. No. She smiled slightly. We're locking them out. Back in orbit, the alien fleet began noticing the strange movements of the ancient stations. Ships repositioned. Scanners activated. But it was already too late. Commander Elias spoke to the AI again. Interface 1 begin final phase. The AI responded immediately. Containment field charging. Across the solar system, hundreds of ancient platforms aligned their energy emitters. The glowing rings around them brightened. Energy beams shot silently between stations. One beam, then another. Soon thousands of beams connected the machines. The beams formed a huge web of light in space. A web centered around the alien Armada. The alien fleet immediately reacted. Large warships powered weapons. Energy cannons fired. Blue beams shot toward the nearest ancient stations. But the attacks had almost no effect. The progenitor machines were far stronger than modern warships. The alien leader reappeared on the communication screen. Its glowing eyes looked colder than before. Human commander, it said. What are you doing? Elias answered calmly. Protecting our system. You are activating unknown technology. The alien warned. Yes, you do not understand it. Elias gave a small smile. Maybe, but you understand something even less. The alien remained silent. Elias continued. You came here believing Earth was weak. The tactical screen showed the network completing its formation. Energy lines connected every station. The web grew brighter. You believed humanity was young and unprepared. The alien leader watched the screen. You believed this star system was waiting to be conquered. Elias folded his arms. But this system was already defended. The alien ships began trying to move, but something strange happened. Their engines fired, yet their ships barely moved. Gravity distortions filled the containment zone. Space itself was bending. The alien leader finally understood. "You are trapping us." "Yes," Elias said. The alien ships attempted to jump to faster-than-light travel, but the Sentinel network blocked it. The containment field locked the space around them. No warp, no escape, just an invisible prison stretching millions of kilometers. The alien leader spoke again. "This will not hold forever." Elias nodded. "You're right." The alien seemed slightly relieved, but Elias finished the sentence. "It only needs to hold long enough." "Long enough for what?" Elias leaned forward slightly, for the rest of the galaxy to notice. The alien leader's glowing eyes widened. "You would reveal the progenitor network?" "Yes." Elias looked at the glowing web surrounding the alien fleet. "For centuries, your empire searched for the system. You believed controlling it would give you power." The alien did not answer. Elias continued calmly. "Instead, your fleet will become proof." "Proof of what?" "That humanity will not become an empire." The alien stared at him. "That is not how civilizations survive." Elias shook his head. "Maybe not, but it is how they stay human." The communication ended. Inside the containment zone, the alien armada continued trying to break free, but every attempt failed. The ancient machines held the prison perfectly. Hours passed, then days. Human ships arrived from Earth, then from the asteroid belt, then from Jupiter colonies. Not to fight, just to watch. Across human networks, the story spread. The alien armada that came to conquer Earth had been captured without destroying their ships, without destroying their crews. They were simply trapped. Weeks later, signals from other alien civilizations began arriving. Curious, cautious. The captured fleet had belonged to a powerful expansion empire feared across several star systems. And now that empire had been stopped, not by destruction, but by containment. Months later, representatives from several alien species arrived at the edge of the solar system. They came to see the progenitor defense network and to meet the species that controlled it, humanity. Commander Elias stood in the observation deck of Ares Station, watching Mars rotate slowly below. Captain Mirachin joined him. "So," she said, "the whole galaxy is talking about us now." Elias smiled slightly. That was the idea. She looked at the distant glowing points of the containment field. The trapped alien armada still floated there. Silent, powerless. "Do you think the progenitors expected this?" Mira asked. Elias thought for a moment. Maybe they hoped someone would eventually learn the real purpose of their machines. "And what was that?" Elias looked toward the stars. "Not to conquer the galaxy." He paused. "But to make sure no one else does." Mira nodded slowly. In the distance, the ancient Sentinel stations continued glowing softly around the trapped fleet. For millions of years they had waited. Now they had finally found a new guardian. Not a conqueror, not an empire, just a civilization that wanted to protect its home. And for the first time in history, the galaxy had begun to understand something important about humanity. They were not the strongest species among the stars. They were not the oldest. They were not the most advanced. But when someone threatened their world, humanity would do whatever it took to make sure the war never reached Earth. And this time, they had done it without firing a single shot. The solar system was safe. And the alien armada that came to conquer, it would remain in their silent prison as a warning to the rest of the galaxy. Humanity was not alone anymore, and they were no longer defenseless.